Hey everybody, I'm Bonnie Barker with BonnieBakeCrochet.com, and today I'm in Grandma's kitchen and I wanted to show you one of my favorite holiday treats, and it's so fast and easy you're not going to believe it. Well, let me show you what you're going to need. We're going to be making peanut butter fudge. So I'm just going to go ahead and say the obvious. If you're allergic to peanut butter or to nuts, this is not a dessert for you. But if you aren't, this is something that's so easy. Let me show you what you're going to need. You're going to need 1 cup of peanut butter. It can be any kind of peanut butter. This is just my favorite kind, not a paid endorsement, of course. 1 cup. You're going to need 1 stick of butter. If you don't have butter, you can use margarine, but I think butter makes it taste a whole lot better. You're going to need 1 pound of the 10X sugar. This is not granulated sugar. This is the powdered sugar that you use for making cake icing and things like that. And you're going to need 4 heaping tablespoons of some cocoa, and you're going to need some vanilla. Well, let me go ahead and show you what we need to do. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is put our butter in the pan, and I'm using a 3-quart cooking pot. You can use a 2-quart. That would be sufficient for what we're going to do. I've gone ahead and measured out 1 cup of peanut butter, but before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and melt my butter down a little bit. But you can go ahead, if it's not frozen, you can go ahead and add this to it. And I'm doing this over a medium heat. You don't want it to be too hot because you don't want to, burn this right away. Okay. And after I put that in, I'm going to go ahead and fill this up with water, just tap water from the sink. Okay, so you're going to want to mix these two together over medium heat until they are all melted together, including the peanut butter. Okay, you can see how it looks right there. Okay, now while that's finishing up, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add, whoops, I'm going to knock the vanilla over. Then I'm going to add 4 tablespoons, and if it's okay if they're heaping tablespoons. This is not like baking in the oven where it's a chemistry project. If you just have a little extra cocoa, that just means it's going to be a little more chocolatey, and that never made anybody in my world unhappy. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do that, and definitely mix it up again. You want to keep mixing this. And it's starting to boil a little bit, so you want to be careful about that. You don't want it to burn. Now we're going to start adding our powdered sugar. And this here, it is 1 pound, that's all you need. And since this is already pre-measured, I am not going to even bother measuring it. If you're taking it from a larger supply, you're going to have to measure this out. And if you do that, it's approximately 4 cups. Now I'm going to actually remove this from the heat just a second here. I'm going to bring it right over here so it's not burning. And there are 2 ways you can do this. You can just dump this right on in, but I'm actually going to choose to use a sifter. I'm going to hold this over the pot and I'm going to sift this as we go. I'm just going to dump the whole bag into the sifter. Okay, come on, bag, empty out please. There we go. Okay, so now I have the entire bag in the sifter, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sift this as it goes in. And the reason for this is to try to eliminate little balls of sugar that you can often get in these packages. This will just make for a smoother fudge. I should also mention that in regards to the peanut butter, if you like the kind with the nuts in it, that's fine. You can easily substitute that for the smooth. Okay, so now this is starting to get, as you can see, a little sticky, a little thick. remember this little cup of water I said? Just go ahead and add a little bit to it. This will help make it a little more liquidy. It'll help to break up little tiny pieces of sugar, kind of help keep them from forming. So go ahead and put some more sugar in. And it's boiling quite a bit, so I'm going to turn this down to a lower heat so it doesn't burn. Give it a stir. One thing I like about this is once it cools down, then it is ready to eat. And you can cool it down quickly by just sticking it in the refrigerator. You don't need to grease the pan or anything, or prepare it in any way because of the butter content in the fudge, so it's, you know, it's not going to stick. So we're just going to keep doing this until all the sugar is added. And if it gets a little bit on the stiff side, just put a couple, maybe a teaspoon here or there of the water in with it, and it helps to smooth it out. Okay, we are almost done. You can see it's nice and smooth. It's also very hot, so do be careful. I'm actually going to move this off the source of heat and bring it right over here so it doesn't burn on me. And I'm just going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and it's going to probably boil up a little bit when I put it in here. Mostly probably, okay, it didn't boil, but sometimes it does. So I'm just going to stir that in. It helps to add and give it a nice flavor. Okay, once we do that, we are ready to pour it into our pan. I'm going to be making, this is one single batch, and I'm going to be using a small pan like this. This is about half the size, volume-wise, of your standard, well, making a lot of noise now, 9.5 by 13, you know, these big casserole pans. It's about half this size. Now, if you want to fill a pan this size, all you need to do is multiply everything by 2. So you would need 2 sticks of butter, 2 pounds of sugar, 2 cups of peanut butter, and about 8 tablespoons of the cocoa and 2 teaspoons of the vanilla. But we're just going to make this small dish here. And what's nice about this is you don't have to prepare the dish in any way because it has a lot of butter in this, and it's not going to stick to this pan. So you want to be very careful not to let it splash on you, because you will feel it if it does. And go ahead and pour that in. Kind of scrape it out and get all the fudge. All right. You want to leave a little bit in the pan because it's a lot of fun to test once it cools off, but don't test it yet because it's really too hot. I'm just going to smooth the top out just like that, and it looks really good. It looks really smooth. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it uncovered in a refrigerator. And as soon as it cools down, since it's the evening here, I'm going to go ahead and let this cool off overnight, and in the morning I'm going to cut it into small, like 1 by 1 inch pieces, and serve it, and I'll show that to you in just a minute. Okay, I've cut this with a knife, and it actually helped to set it out. If it's been in the refrigerator overnight, it really does help if you just kind of set it at a room temperature for a little bit. It helps it to get a little bit softer so that it makes it a lot easier to cut. Now all I'm going to do is start taking them out of the pan and setting them in the tray, and it'll be all ready to go. Well, the fudge has had time to cool, and I've cut it into pieces and put it on my tray, and it is really yummy. I had to sample it just to make sure that it came out just right. And the really cool thing about this is when you're getting it out of the pan, and if you have any misshapen pieces that just don't look so great, you can enjoy them a lot. stuff is really good. It's really addictive too, by the way. Well, anyway, if you like this video, if you could just hit that thumbs up. If you're interested in checking out any of my crochet videos for anybody from beginner to advanced, go ahead and subscribe to the Bonnie Bay Crochet channel. And I'm going to be having some other fun videos like this here and there. But anywho, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. If you celebrate Hanukkah, I wish you a most wonderful celebration of lights. And God bless. Bye-bye.